Hi, my name's Taylor, and I am a musician and a teacher, music professor, and I do a lot of teaching on quite a few different folk and stringed instruments, but my very favorite is the mandolin. And I've had a lot of mandolin students over the years, and one of the first things that always comes up and that I see on lots of forums and Facebook groups and things like that is, how do I play my first mandolin chords, right? This is a huge part of what we do on the mandolin, and it allows us to start playing music really, really quickly. One of the nice things about the mandolin is that we can play lots and lots of songs using only a couple of chords that require 2 fingers. So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start in the key of G. Your lowest string on the mandolin is a G. And I'm going to spell out all of these chords, not using note names. You can find that out, or we could do it in another video. But just the frets, starting from the lowest pitched string, so the closest to your face, and working our way to the highest string, the closest to the floor. So our first chord that I think everybody should learn on the mandolin, it's a beautiful chord. You can use it in all sorts of styles, all sorts of contexts, and that's our classic open G chord. So that goes open, open, 2, 3. Most music, at least that we play on the mandolin, especially if you're playing like American roots music, popular music, bluegrass, country, genres we associate with the mandolin, you can play using 3 chords, like I mentioned. And most of the time, those chords have a pretty specific relationship. And we can think of that in terms of the 1, the 4, and the 5. So if you're playing in the key of G, if you're talking to people and they say, this song's in the key of G, your 1 chord is going to be a G. Then you just count up from there. G, A, the musical alphabet goes from G and then starts back at A. B, C. So C is our 4 chord. We might start with the index finger if you want that way. G, A, B, C, and then finally D. And that gives us our 1, our 4, and our 5. So that's the 3 chords we're going to learn very first. So just to review, our G chord, open, open, 2, 3. The great thing about our C chord is that it's the exact same shape, and just move it over just a little bit. So that gives us open, 2, open, open. So if you're brand new on the mandolin, perhaps you are just picking it up and this is one of the first things that you're learning, start by just going back and forth between those 2. You can strum them each a couple of times. I like to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, just back and forth. And if you need a little bit of time to get to 1 chord, use that 4th beat and transition. Rest, 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 rest. You can go back and forth, just getting used to that motion. Now we have our 1 chord, our G, our 4 chord, our C, and we'll get a 5 chord, D. D is great, another great sounding chord on the mandolin. It's 2, open, open, 2. So we can do the same little exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. And if you need that space, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, rest. 1, 2, 3, change. 1, 2, 3, change. You can think change, rest, whatever helps you to keep track that little space, the music is still moving, but you can use it to move to the next chord. If you really need it, you could even do 2 beats, so you could go 1, 2, rest, rest, 1, 2, rest, rest. And this is a lot better to do than trying to go 1, 2, 3, 4, change, 1, 2, 3, 4, because it allows us to keep the musical time flowing. So you could actually do this playing with other people or with a song that you're working on without breaking up the time. So usually I have students just stick with those 3 chords, the 1, the 4, and the 5, G, C, and D, in the key of G. Sometimes a month, you can learn many, many songs. Some good ones that work well in the key of G, depending on your voice type. You could do You Are My Sunshine. You could do Worried Man Blues, Going Down This Road Feeling Bad, the Crawdad Song, Froggy Went a Courtin', lots and lots of options. Many of your classic folk, bluegrass, and country songs can be played in the key of G using only these 3 chords. Once you get those down, usually I have students do about 3 songs and get to where they can do them pretty comfortably. Then we can start to work on other keys. So let's start by playing a song that lots of people know, You Are My Sunshine, in the key of G. So I'm not going to teach you the full song, but you can see how I'll use just those shapes, G, C, and D. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. Now to C, you make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, back to C, how much I love you. Now we're G. So please don't take my sunshine away. So that was G, D, G right at the end there. So you can see, you could use just those 3 chords, have a really nice, very musical, full sound on the mandolin. But once you start wanting to play in some other keys, there's some pretty obvious second options. And what I like to have students do, and I encourage you to do, take a song you already know and try it in a new key, rather than just trying to learn a new song in a key, right? So what I'll often do with students, have them learn their 3 songs. Then after a month or so, we'll add in a 4th song in the original key that they were learning, usually G on the mandolin, and then do one of their original 3 songs in the key of C. So in this case, we're going to do You Are My Sunshine in the key of C. This doesn't work as well in my voice. It's a little lower, but if you have a low male voice or kind of a medium female voice, likely this key is going to be better for you. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. If you were paying attention there, you might have noticed that 2 of the 3 chords I just used, we've already covered. So in the key of C, if we go 1 is C, D, E, F is the 4, and G is the 5. So our 1 and our 5 in the key of C are the same chords that we were playing in the key of G. All right, so that really helps. It means that for each key that we add, we typically only need to learn 1 chord. So the 1 chord that we need to learn for the key of C after we've learned G is an F chord. F chord is a little trickier on the mandolin. It takes 3 fingers and it's a bit of a stretch. So going from our lowest pitched string to our highest pitched string, we have 5, 3, open, 1. It's a beautiful chord on the mandolin. There's some cool things you can do with it, nice things you can play off of that shape, but it is a little challenging. It's a big stretch. Generally speaking with students, I encourage them pretty early on to start trying some of these shapes that are not easy for you. If you go a year or two of playing the instrument and you avoid any chord shape that's hard for you, it's not going to get easier. Once your hands are strong enough to play your chords in the key of G pretty comfortably, you should be able to get this F chord with a couple weeks of practice, maybe even faster. So if we want to play 1, 4, 5, 1 in the key of C, all we had to do is add in that F chord. I'm going to play You Are My Sunshine one more time. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. So please don't take my sunshine away. So with those two keys, you can get kind of a higher pitched sound and a lower pitched sound depending on the singer and what you need and depending on the song, right? So there's lots of songs I sing in the key of C. You Are My Sunshine just wouldn't be one of them. The great thing, once we have those 4 chords, it actually lets us play a lot of music. So say you're playing with a fiddle player and they are playing Old Joe Clark in the key of G. You could play, you'll end up using all 4 of those chords. So depending on the arrangement, you can play it different ways. I like to play it that way. So I was playing a G chord, then it goes down to an F. A little different for the key, but it sounds very cool. It's a big part of the folk music vocabulary in America. Then that little turnaround was do 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 do, C, D, G. Likewise, there's songs in the key of C that might fit in that D chord somewhere. One of the best examples of this is a really popular song. It's a classic in this music, Hey Good Lookin' by Hank Williams. Hey, good looking. So we're in the key of C. What you got cooking? Then goes to D. How's about cooking something up with me? Hey, sweet baby, don't you think maybe we can find us a brand new recipe? I got a hot rod Ford. There's our F chord, and a $2 bill, and I know a spot right over the hill. There's soda pop and the dancing's free. So I was just back and forth, C and F. If you wanna have fun, come along with me. Oh, hey, good looking, what you got cooking? How's about cooking something up with me? All right. So that gives you an idea of some stuff that you can do with just a couple of chords. So we only covered 4 chords total. If this is something that's helpful for people, I'll do a part 2 where we cover a couple more chords, couple more keys. And then, again, if people are enjoying that and learning from it, we can start to add in things like sevenths and minor chords. But just getting these couple of major chords down on the mandolin opens up so much repertoire. There's so much that you can do by playing G, C, D, and F. And it'll typically play those chords in the key of G and the key of C. They'll combine in different ways, like those last couple of songs that I showed you. But many, many, many songs can use only 3 of them. So that should get you started out. Thanks a bunch for watching. Hope that was fun and helped you out. Bye-bye.